Okay, good morning everyone. We're going to sing the Tiptoe song, which we sang last year during the lockdown. Perhaps some of you know it, some of you don't, probably. It was made by the Fisher folk in the 70s or 80s. And just after I became a Christian, although it was a children's song, I really loved it. And the first verse speaks about walking through valleys filled with gloom. But God reminds us that it is his world we're walking through, and he holds our hands in all the situations of life. Excuse me. Many people have felt they're in a valley over these last months, and maybe they feel they're in a valley today. Some people say you should never be in a valley. You always have to be on the mountaintops. I don't feel like that sometimes. And it says there is a verse in 1 Kings 20:28 where the Syrians said, "The Lord is God of the hills, but he's not the God of the valleys." Well, the Lord is Lord of all, the hills and the valleys, and he knows those who are feeling down and in the valley this morning. He's God in the good times and in the bad times. The God of the day is still the God of the night. In the book Pilgrim's Progress, a pilgrim had to endure many things on his journey to the celestial city, and many lessons can be learnt in the valleys and in the wilderness, which will strengthen us on life's journey. Now the chorus of the song is, "For we know that the whole of creation groans and labours with birth pangs until now." It's from there, but it adds in on tiptoe, people at the creation's looking for the fulfillment of what God intends. Now, can anyone tell me, when did creation start groaning? Or in agony? Anyone? I won't leave the question open for long. It started groaning when Adam and Eve... Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, okay. It's all right. I know the feeling. It started groaning when Adam and Eve were put out of the Garden of Eden. In Genesis 3 verse 7 it says God cursed the earth. The curse didn't only fall on us, it fell on the whole world. In the perfect world that Adam and Eve were in, there would have been no earthquakes, famines, droughts, sickness, floods, thorns, weeds, sin or death. But Adam and Eve's disobedience brought the curse of God, which will only be finally taken away when the Lord Jesus returns and he renews the world during his 1,000-year reign on the earth called the millennium. All of creation is groaning today, not only us, the whole of creation. In the Antarctica, the temperature is minus 77 degrees Fahrenheit, the coldest on record. In Ethiopia, the daily temperatures can be 41 degrees centigrade. For people and animals and all things living there will probably be a daily groaning for something to change. But it's God who is in charge of the weather. And in Psalms 135, 147 and 148 it says, "He causes the vapours to ascend from the ends of the earth. He makes lightnings for the rain. He brings the wind out of his treasures. Fire and hail, snow and vapour, stormy wind, fulfilling his word. He gives snow like the wool. He scatters the frost like ashes. He casts out his hail like morsels. Who can stand before his cold? He sends out his word and melts them. He causes his wind to blow and the waters flow." So God is in charge of all creation, including our weather. In the book of Job sort of has his battles with God, like we all must. And in Job 38 to 41, God tells Job what he thinks about what he's done for creation and for the weather. There's a lot about creation and the weather in Job 38 to 41. Wonderful verses, and you feel about this big when you read them. You think, okay, God is God. And at the end of it all, in Job 42, He was probably feeling a bit like this too. Job says to the Lord, I know that you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be thwarted. And whatever is happening in our lives, whether we're in the valley or on the mountaintop, he's with us. He loves us and will fulfill his plans for us. And his creation, he will fulfill his plans for us and his creation. And our son, his son, the Lord Jesus, will return for his bride, and he will reign forever and ever, and it will all be wonderful. So Grace is going to play the first verse, and without singing. I always forget that bit, but... and so to the little one, do you want to stand up and do Tiptoe when we sing on the Tiptoe bit?
Don't think so.
Perhaps not, but... done. It's not the easiest song to sing if you don't know it, but the Creation Ministries man, I don't know who, a gentleman's coming next week, so Grace said she'd play it again next week, so at least you've had a practice. And so, good.